PetVivo is an emerging biomedical device company focused on the licensing and commercialization of innovative medical devices for pets. And with me is CEO John Lai. John, welcome.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here. Finally in person.
We've talked on Zoom so many times. And you just had a major milestone, uplisting PetVivo to the NASDAQ. You've also got a new CFO, NASDAQ season. Talk to me about all these things that PetVivo has been doing lately.
Yeah, it's been an exciting 30, 40 days here. You know, we've gotten the uplift, we got tremendous more visibility, and our website has picked up tremendously in terms of viewerships. We have a very seasoned CFO. He was with another medical device company where it grew from 10 million market cap to 1.6 billion, beat 11 straight consecutive earnings estimates by Wall Street. So that's always a good sign to get somebody as seasoned as that.
Yeah, for sure. And you've been working in osteoarthritis for a number of years with canine, horses as well. What exactly is that? Explain that, and how's your treatment different?
Sure. So osteoarthritis is the wearing away of the cartilage. It degrades over time. It doesn't get any better. And what happens is when it starts to wear away, you get bone-on-bone contact. With that bone-on-bone contact, you get inflammation and pain. And it's a very large problem for dogs and horses. Our treatment is quite different in the approach. We identify that the bone-on-bone contact is the major cause, so we inject our particles in, which is naturally derived, and it's basically collagen, elastin, heparin, building blocks or structure of cartilage and tissue. So once it's injected into the joint, it acts and provides cushion between the bones. And given that the particles are wet and lubricious, it actually lubricates and keeps the joint cool, what natural cartilage would be doing. Yeah, so all the competitors are just focusing on symptoms, masking symptoms. How do I create a better NSAID? Because that's the gold standard treatment. You give a pill once or twice a day, and the dog doesn't feel any pain. And I would argue it actually leads to further damaging of the cartilage. Because a dog, if they feel pain, they won't jump. In certain situations, they'll jump when they don't feel the pain.
And the bones are still rubbing together.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're actually fixing. Now, is that the Spryng treatment that I see on your website?
Yes.
So that's it. Okay.
Yes.
So, and that's basically what makes you different than other treatments.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. We call it Spryng with OsteoCushion Technology. The OsteoCushion are the particles, and those particles have many applications for both humans and animals.
Now, how big of a problem is this for animals?
Well, in the United States, the market size is about 4.8 billion actually, and growing at 7% a year. So in terms of dogs, you're probably looking at 14, 15 million dogs a year that will have it. For horses, it's probably close to 1 million horses. So the population for dogs in the United States is about 65 million. And horses about 7.2 million.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like people are getting more animals.
Yes.
Adopted, especially during the pandemic, but even before that, like the pet industry was growing so much, so that you would kind of grow along with that, I would think.
Yeah, so, the demographic drivers in the marketplace are that less and less people are getting married, less and less people are having children, so their pets become their children, and it's called the humanization of the family pet.
The pet parent.
So they become part of the family, and people will spend whatever it takes to improve the quality of life of their pet, just like with their children. Sure. And you see that in the increase of per spending. So in 2012, when a pet owner decided the dollar amount they would end treatment would be about $1,700 in 2012. Today's $10,700 is the dollar threshold before they tell the vet, I don't want to provide any more treatment.
Wow, that's interesting. Now, I don't happen to have a pet.
Okay.
I would love one, but that's another story. But so what if I did and it was aging? Like, what would be the first steps I would take with your company?
Sure. Basically, the first point of diagnosis, the consumer will see the mobility of the animal diminish, the dog. And then they take it into the vet, and the vet generally will do a mobility test or do x-rays. And then they'll be able to identify, hey, the dog has osteoarthritis. The cartilage is wearing away. And you know, you would ask the vet, what are my treatment options? And they generally would say, let's start an NSAID. But, you know, we're providing something probably costing about the same over an annual basis, something that doesn't have the negative side effects, but actually ends up providing pretty much instantaneous mobility increase and quality of life increase for the animal.
And would you ever have the opportunity to take this beyond dogs and horses?
Yes, so we were initially funded by NIH and DOD. So a lot of the work was done on the human side, and that's how we got into the animal side. Is when I joined the company, I said, you know, we have a unique opportunity here that the FDA has declared our product as a device on the animal side. So we can go right in, I mean on the human side, excuse me. So we can go right into the animal side without pre-clearance by the FDA. So we were able to commercially go right into the marketplace.
Just real quick, does pet insurance cover this?
Yeah, it has been because we're declared as a veterinary device.
Okay.
And most insurance will cover devices.
Okay, interesting. So now you've had multiple press releases lately about some personnel, new distribution partner on the East Coast. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So, you know, after we got on NASDAQ with the capital raise, we're utilizing that capital to bring all the pieces together to really help the company grow at a very fast rate. You know, we brought in a national sales manager by the, or I guess it's national sales by the name of Mark Middleton. He's got over 30 years of experience. In his last company, he took to 800 million in sales in the veterinary space. And then we brought in Russ Sicko, who was in marketing pretty high up at Pfizer Animal Health.
Okay.
So he's got over 30 years experience in marketing in veterinary devices. So we brought him in, and then to shore up the manufacturing, we brought in Josh Wilhelm. He's got years of experience with medical device manufacturing and high volume. And he knows the materials really well because that was his background in biomaterials. You know, his last position was with a subsidiary of Boston Scientific.
Okay.
And we hired actually 3 additional production people to support him. So, so from a ramp-up standpoint, we can scale probably for the next 3 to 5 years of whatever forecasts we have in terms of production needs.
So it sounds like you're doing kind of both the research on the devices, but then also some marketing too. You kind of need go both at the same time.
Yeah, well, the device side actually was to strengthen the manufacturing because Josh is an expert on high volume manufacturing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
scaling something. So,
yeah, because, you know, we know with scientists and so on, they know how to make this stuff, but they don't know how to scale. You know, that's where you have to bring in the production people, and Josh is definitely a production expert.
So what's next for PetVivo?
We're, you know, the partnership with RAC providing distribution in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania will allow us to really speed up the adoption process with the veterinary doctors. Our Colorado state study is a little bit delayed because of COVID. They're sitting on the campus and people can't bring their dogs on. But we believe that's short term, and we'll have other studies commissioned. So the reason for those studies is more for marketing because we already have no requirements for FDA. And we've done human studies on safety and everything, so it's way beyond what you would do for your animals. But when you're dealing with big organizations, corporate-owned veterinary clinics, they have a legal team that says, check the box for an animal study. And I said, well, we have a human study, which is so much more extensive and severe. They go, well, you know, we just have to have that. So that's why we're doing that.
Yeah, got it. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming in, and great to hear about PetVivo and all your success. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jane. It's a real pleasure.
Okay, and thank you as well. We'll be back.